And we're about to start game two. So I know Phil Asen is going to be streaming the Chris Gogolin, or not Chris Gogolin, the Jellison versus Bastion match. So the last match, the last two undefeated players, Joe and Bastion. So we're going to only have one undefeated player right after this last match. Chris is picking his match based on the decks and everything. I got Ryan Jellison versus Matt Lutz, two players who didn't see a lot of streaming from last weekend, and I felt like that. I know Ryan is a extremely interesting deck builder, so he plays the unorthodox decks. I know Endor, he played a Y4 Ops deck. Uh, Outside of, I mean, as you can see, he's playing an ASM deck. We didn't see a lot of ASM last weekend. It's not a very popular deck, so that right off the bat is just is really exceptional. Yeah, this is a matchup we haven't seen at all, I believe. So, but Matt is going with a Watch Your Step. So, and I'll be honest, would rather stream a Watch Your Step versus Hitco any day of the week, because well, Hitco's a really good deck right now. It's boring as all heck. But that's just me. Um, so yeah, this is game two of Worlds Day 2. Uh, yeah, we saw that. Let's see. So Ryan played. Ryan is starting with any message necessary. Matt is going with a more traditional build, or more traditional start. He did. Ryan played Imp Command to get General Grievous, while Matt played All Wings combo to get the Pulsar Skate. See a bunch of grabbers being played. Ryan will get out a. He had the security tower in his opening hand. So right off the bat, he's got a lot of activation out. Was able to get a invisible hand bridge, so he's got a 2-0 as well. There's that Grievous that we saw him grab with the Imp Command. Grievous going down to the 500 Republica. And he'll move over to the docking bay. The Insidious Prisoner is now going to follow. So ASM was an old legendary deck that they brought it back to the current meta. Again, not a lot of people are playing it. It's not a really strong Darkside deck, but again, with Darkside being so limited right now, it's kind of an interesting to see this. Yeah, he went with the enemy message necessary, so that way he started with the security tower in his hand. Let me double check and see what he grabbed with the card. He grabbed Forlom V, so he'll be able to put a bunch of cards back into his deck with that card. And like I said, he also got the security tower as well. Okay, Matt is going to activate, pull a card with Insurrection Aim High. Both these players are currently sitting at 5 and 2. No, he got Forlom V. So yeah, you get the Forlom V with his in his opening hand. Okay, there is the home one docking bay from Matt. Pulls Corellia or Kessel with his objective. Probably going to see Corellia here. Makes a little bit more sense, as Corellia is a 2-1 system versus Kessel, which is a 2-1 for your opponent. And looks like Chris Kelly. Ooh, Chris Kelly is going with. I'm sorry, Chris Gogolin. Too many Chris's. Is currently streaming a Hunt Down V versus a WAP. So let's look at some of the decks that are being played. Joe Olsen playing a Watto. Bastion playing Legend. Brad Kipple going with Bring It Before Me versus Matt Soko's Hitco. That's interesting. Paul Myers playing Diplo. Justin Desai playing Hunt Down V. So Justin Desai playing on. I'm going to say that Matt is playing. There's so many Lukes that he could play. I want to say he's going to probably play the Last Jedi Luke. But we'll see. There's another All Wings combo. He pulls the Falcon. Looking back at some of the other decks, Baroni's playing a Hunt Down. Drew Litch is playing Legend. Ooh, that's going to be an interesting match. Uh, Jared Konsker is playing Hitco. Greg Shaw is playing ISB. No real surprises there. Kieran's playing Hunt Down V. Solid Snake. James, I always forget who Solid Snakes is playing a Hyperdrive V. So interesting. Okay, Vic. Come on, Vic, tell us. Dylan Timo is playing the IE. Brett's playing No Idea. Ooh, that's gonna be bad for Brett if he doesn't have the free ride combo. Chris Werfs is playing Watch Your Step. Charlie is playing ISB. Gavin is playing a SSA that has starts Maltz Chambers. Kyle Kruger's playing Hiccup. Justin Miyashiro is playing WAP. Matt Harrison Trainer is playing Hunt Down. Oh, Rebellion's Hope. Okay. Yeah, that was the other. So I think with Watch Your Step, there's 4 different Lukes you could really play. Obviously, the Last Jedi and Rebel Scout are more your ground-based Luke. Luke Skywalker V is really good because you get that constant retrieval. But yeah, Rebellion's Hope I think would be is the forgotten Luke kind of. He's good because once you put him on the R2 and Red 5, you can get a Destiny 2 Power, a Destiny 2 Attrition. Heck, I would actually play Red 5. I wouldn't play the R2 in Red 5 because at least with Red 5 you can drain with Luke, and it's fully immune. So I like that. Aaron Kingery is playing Legend. Sagnet, who is Ricard. Kingery is playing a Legend. Ricard's playing a Hunt Down V. Jared Napolitano is playing Aces of the Black Sun. And, of course, Chris Kelly is playing Keiko. So, no real surprises there. Okay, so there's that Forlom V that he had in his opening hand. CRG played, he's the best smuggler around, so he was able to get a Kessel Run into his hand. Probably going to see Ryan attempt to flip here. If he's able to get the docking bay, he's going to be able to flip. And once he flips, I mean... Oh, okay, so I didn't see that as I was going on a rundown. So, let me see. If he missed the docking bay, that's kind of big. Yeah, he missed the pool with his objective. Now, he might have it in his hand, but okay, he doesn't. He draws up. Okay, there's the point. There's a point man, so he can put a card back and he can pull what he needs. You would assume he's going to go pull the docking bay, but I mean, he might have drawn into the docking bay. We don't know. But you would assume that he has the docking bay in his hand at this point. Okay, so it looks like Matt has Mirax and Theranet on the Corellia, on the Pulsar Skate. He did pull a battle plan, so Ryan did not drain, elected to not drain this turn. And now we move on to Matt's turn. So I think if you're Matt, you probably wanna drain, at least get one card out of Ryan's deck. But it also depends on if Matt has anything really in his hand to come down with. So, as we have a little bit of a break here, looks like Matt does not drain, so he's going to pull a card with Insurrection Aim High. We got 2 packs to give away today. So, I know we gave out 8 last week. I've got 2 more to give away this week. So today we're going to give out 2 packs. Tomorrow we're not going to give out any packs. However, tomorrow we're going to give out 2 t-shirts. So I believe the t-shirts are going to be of the new Probe Droid. So be on the lookout for those tomorrow. Again, today I'm going to be giving out 2 packs, so I'll come up with 2 questions. They're going to be at just random times today. So yeah, be on the lookout for those. They're going to be, so again, those are the preview, basically the set 13 packs. They're preview packs. They come with a foil white border card, so those are kind of awesome. This is the only way to get a foil white border preview card is from this weekend for set 13. So you're gonna basically get something that looks like this. They come in. Unfortunately, they're not really packs. They're more like plastic cases. I'm actually trying to get rid of a bunch of these. So I will say this: if anybody needs plastic cases like this, hit me up. I've got a plethora. But back onto our action. Here is Matt. He plays the Falcon. He gets the new Han. ... Solo. Really good with Kessel Run. He also puts out Melas, so once he does flip, he'll be able to get. Once he flips here, he should flip. It's not a Wheel of Fortune. It's I ask a question. Whoever answers get the first pack. And if you win, please make sure to PM me on the forum your information. I'll be sending these packs out either hopefully this week. I am currently waiting on just a few things to send out the packs. So again, hopefully these things should go out this week. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday. But yeah, make sure you get me your information as soon as possible. So Matt he gets down the Falcon with Melas and on Solo, and he's going to start drawing. He does play the best smuggler around, so he can pull a Kessel Run, Lando, L37. Yeah, no flip. That's kind of surprising. I think he's waiting to get the Kessel Run going. Okay, do they have a code clearance shield for Ryan? The only thing is the new Kessel Run doesn't stack on it. Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, both players are activating locations that they need. Matt playing, I've got a really good feeling about this. So he draws 2 cards from his reserve deck. He draws 2 instead of 1 because Han Solo is on the table. And he's just going to draw up the last couple cards up to 9. He's got 1 card saved. And now we go on to Ryan's turn. So again, looked like Ryan activated his docking bay last turn, so that's why we didn't see a flip. Both players haven't force drained yet. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it stops the loop, and it stops, like, Jedi Levitation, so really good. But, yeah, thanks, man. I like I got to get it framed. I was hoping to get it framed and on display, but, yeah, I got that. So, got that, and I got the other one. I like it. Yeah. As people can tell, I'm a huge Metroid fan, so... I love Metroid, and I love alternate art cards. So he deploys Singh with Blaster to the Invisible Hand. Interesting. You would think that he would have saved Singh, but okay. So this is why he does it. So he's allowed once per game if he controls, he can pull the Invisible Hand. Okay. So he didn't have any other characters that he can get down to pull the Invisible Hand. But yeah, Aura Singh should be good against this Watcher Step. I mean, there's no Jedi in the deck, really, but... Okay, and there is the Docking Bay Transit and the flip for Ryan. Okay, so now... with the flip, once per turn. It can be any time during the turn. You can pull a card, search for your force pile to take any one card. Opponent will lose 2 force to place that card in the bottom of the use pile, or you get it into hand. So there is a Darth Maul with lightsaber. And it's going to go into Ryan's hands. So Matt will not lose 2. And he's going to move the Arsing over. So we know that Ryan now has a Darth Maul with lightsaber. And he does have a character with he does have a Separatist character with the Insidious Predators, so he'll be able to cause 1 force loss next turn. And Ryan is going to draw a couple of cards. He goes over 12 cards, so he is challenging Matt to play a Grimtosh. He draws up to 14, saving 3, and passes turn. Okay, we go on to Matt's turn. He does activate. A moves past his control phase, goes to take a Kessel or Corellia. Corellia is obviously already on the table, so here Kessel should be coming out at this point. Does look like he did activate it last turn. I didn't draw into it, so there it is. He did draw it into hand with the objective, and there is the Kessel. There is the Kessel run. And here comes the Coaxium Destiny. See how many Destiny he has to draw into it. There's an Ellerus. Ellerus Medak for 3. And he has to get up to 14. So let's see how many cards it's going to take him. Oof. Control Tunnel Vision. That's a 1. That's not good. A Chewbacca for another 1. CRG pointing out that he's going to Kessel walk instead of Kessel run. Well, I mean, you got to walk before you can run, right? Kira for 2. Yeah, so this might take him a couple turns to get this Quaxium Destinies off of that. Another 1. Oh. CRG, what is with the Destiny in this deck? Yeah, and that's a good point. But, I mean, you do want to have a lot of these cards available to you. That's the other thing is, so, like, Kira is over there. Luke is over there. So, a lot of good cards that you would want to see in your hand or available to you. Okay, that's not bad. Like Wedge Antilles, who's a Destiny 4, still needs to draw some more cards, though. Okay, so there it is. He's got the 13. Okay, so it is 12 instead of 14. I'm sorry. So, just took him, 7 cards. 7 cards to get to a Coaxium Destiny. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen it that many cards. Granted, I haven't seen a lot of the Watch Your Step, but yeah, that's kind of insane. Okay, Talon card coming down. And Lando on the Falcon. So he just wants to stay. I mean, with that Darth Maul, it makes sense that he wants to just keep a lot of. You know what? I'm going to point that. I like that. See how many cards you can get. If this was a Holo Theater challenge, I would say 7 is the most. Hey, that was a Scott challenge. So, but yeah, he does get the land out. So it makes sense for him not to avoid the ground right now, being as that Ryan only he has the Darth Maul in his hand, so you don't really want to go down to ground. I mean, it would make sense eventually to go down to ground. That way you can satisfy for battle plan. But Ryan's not doing any damage right now. I mean, it is only a drain of 1 over there at the docking bay. I do expect Ryan to eventually docking bay transit over to Tatooine and possibly try to start draining for 2 there. The nice thing for Ryan is there's so many. There are so many battleground systems out that even if he only has the invisible hand on the table, he can start running. I want to say that Ryan or Matt's only playing maybe 4 ships. One of them is Luke's ship. Hey Grady, how you doing? It is Ryan Jellison versus Matt Lutz. Matt is playing for the light side. Ryan is playing dark side. And Matt will draw up. He saves 4 cards in his force pile, and everything moves over to Ryan. So I'm definitely going to see Ryan do 1 ping damage here with his objective. Probably going to see him pull a card with the force pile first. Yep, there we go. He's going to pull a force card with his out of his force pile with his objective. Yeah, definitely an interesting deck from Ryan. I'm going to be interested in seeing this one. I want to see the deck list after this, so hopefully Chris will be able to get the deck list out onto the internet as quick as he did for day 1. Oh, thank you. This kind of stuff makes me happy. Brings a joy to my cold black heart. Pulls Newt Gunray. Newt Gunray, who's a pretty good character in this deck. Like, I want to say it's a Michael Pistone card. Yeah, I try and keep it interesting. Really good card. I mean, if you can get him down with like Grievous or even any other card that has the Trade Federation in its game text, you can get an extra Destiny. So I mean, that's pretty good. Okay, let's see. There is the valuable hostage ping. Matt will lose a Han ... solo from his deck. And Ryan gets out the blockade flagship. So he's got a lot of force to work with right now. Coffee helps. I will say that coffee helps. Okay, action is still on Ryan right now. He does have the resistance out, so I mean that would only be a drain of 2 at Kessel if Matt decides to drain. Okay, there is Count Dooku. I do like the new. I do like Dooku or Count Dooku in this deck over Darth Tyrannus. Don't get me wrong, Tyrannus is a really good card, but the fact that Dooku can draw or pull Force Lightning into out of the deck and everything is really good. Force Lightning is really strong against Watch Your Step, being the guys are so their defense value is really weak. Granted, I mean Dooku does lose his immunity to attrition, but that's a small trade off. Oh, he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be able to get to the 3rd battleground here. I think he docking bay transits Grievous over, or maybe Aura Singh over to the other docking bay. He does have 2 docking bays that he could do that with, so I mean that makes a little bit more sense. But before we do that, Matt is going to take a card off of the Kessel run. He takes Wedge Antilles. Yeah, and okay, so we are still in Ryan's move phase. Matt will use Mirax to put a card back, take a card off the top of the deck. Yeah, I agree. RO saying makes the most sense here. We do know that Matt is playing Chewbacca. And being that he's playing Chewbacca over Chewie with Bowcaster, I think you'd be a little bit safer on the ground. But yeah, Luke makes some sense here in the deck. Obi-Wan V is probably the biggest one that I would worry about, just because he has a little bit better immunity. But I think with the package that Ryan has right now for ground, I really wouldn't worry. Ryan did not move, so he is going to be taking a drain of 3 up at Kessel. He does have a 16-card hand, so I mean, maybe that drain of 3 isn't too important. He could have something to cancel it. He could have something like a control set for stun, or something else to cancel the drain. But before we go into the control phase, we're stuck in Matt's activate phase because Ryan wants to put a card back with Forlom. There is a rescue in the clouds from Matt, so he'll take a peek at the top. Those 3 cards that he's got in his reserve deck, he'll take 1 out. He's got 19 force to work with this turn. Ryan will use his something special, can't talk right now. Something special planned for them to grab that rescue. There's a cold feet from Ryan. Again, we're still in Matt's activate phase. Failure at the cave. Okay, so that is the newest defensive shield. The big thing here is opponents' undercover spies are immune to double agent. That's good. I don't think that's going to come into this game. There are no Jedi testing. There is no Jedi testing, so projection will not be canceled. But the big thing is, if Grimtosh just revealed your hand, you can put 2 cards from your hand into your use pile. So it's a little bit of protection against Grimtosh, but we haven't seen one yet. Okay, so Matt will go into his control phase. He does pay 3 to drain for 3 at Kessel. However, Ryan has Projective Telepathy in his hand to make Matt use 2, so he does use the 2, so essentially he pays 5 to drain for 3. So now we see Ryan losing some cards. Ryan decides to lose the Projective Telepathy, the Cold Feet that he just played, and he loses I Can't Shake Him V from his hand. So he loses some high destiny cards. To that drain. There is a second Kira. So Kira coming down. Once that Kessel run is complete in 12 or so turns, Kira will be able to start pinging for damage now. I'm joking, obviously. It's not going to be 12 turns. It's looking like... There's still 5 cards left, and being that Matt can take a card off there in both move phases, it should be 3 turns. Sorry about that. Wedge Antilles coming down into the Pulsar Skate, so Matt is thoroughly reinforcing his space package. But we know that Ryan is going to be able to drain for 2 at the Cantina, and he's going to cause 1 ping damage. So both players are making the other one lose 3 right now. And once Ryan decides to either move a character over to another docking bay or put another character down, resistance will be in effect, so that drain of 3 at Kessel will be down to a drain of 2. Okay, checking on some of the other games. Looks like Chris and Phil are still going. I want to say that they're going to be ending here soon, so once after game 2, they'll probably stop playing. Connor, I know, has a bye right now. Connor and Adam Trezzo both have a bye this round, so they'll actually get a win. They'll move to 5-3. Looking at some of the other games, looks like all the games are relatively close. See, but yeah, all the games look like they're relatively close. Dylan is currently beating Brett. Yeah, I said that was a bad game. Ketwall, Kieran. Or no, Ketwall. Yeah, it's Kieran? Ketwall, Kieran. Yeah, Kieran is currently up on James, so. But outside of that, there's really. Games are relatively close. JJD, Jared Konsker, is up on Greg. It's an ISB versus Hitco, so that one can go either way. Again, I'm just checking on Life Force. So, but as results come in, I will check out and let everybody know. It looks like Brad Kipple, he won. He is currently 2-0 right now. And Matt Sokol has dropped his first 2 games. Oof. So Matt is currently 5-2 or 5-3. He was sitting at 5-1 after day 1, and he lost his first 2 games. But back over to our matchup. After seeing CRJ take a card off, he also moved the skate over to block a drain of 2 at Tatooine. We move into Ryan's turn. See him take a card out of his force pile with a valuable hostage. He decides to take the Boba Fett Bounty Hunter. Both players will put a card back with their respective characters. Ryan with Forlom, Matt with Mirex. Haven't seen the ping damage yet. As we are currently in Ryan's control phase, there is the ping damage. Matt has to lose one. He will lose Projection of a Skywalker from his use pile. So I'm assuming that is the card that he put back with Mirax. I'm a little surprised he decided to lose that, only because he could put that on the Cantina and reduce that drain down to 1. But again, there's a reason why Matt is playing and I am not. Matt Sokol has a lot of work to do. I'm going to say that. He does have a decent SSA, or SOS. But yeah, he's got some work to make up here. But yes, we move into the deploy phase, and there is an invisible hand coming down to Tatooine. Interesting. Matt will play. I've got a good feeling about this to activate 2. That brings him up to 5. Boba Fett Bounty Hunter coming down. So we could see a pretty nice battle here. If Ryan can drop another Bounty Hunter, he would actually get a bunch of Destiny up in space. Or what we could see him do is move the Aura Singh up to the invisible hand. No, and he's gonna. There's the Admiral Trench. So now Trench will allow him to play an Imperial Command to limit Matt. Yeah, right now it's a lot of Destiny. He's getting one from the ability, two from the fact that Grievous is on the table, plus two more. One at least. Well, if he once he moves the R sync on, it's going to be two more Destiny. Yeah, adds one Destiny if with an alien, adds two with your bounty hunter. Oh no, he's not going to move the R sync. He's going to move the forlorn. Interesting. Still works the same way. Oh, new Gunray moving up there as well. Gunray will actually add another Destiny, so that's 5 Destiny for Ryan. 5. Matt will play Controlled Tunnel Vision from his hand. Or no, he puts the Controlled Tunnel Vision back with the Kessel Run, so he takes another Destiny off. Ryan does occupy 3 battlegrounds right now, so resistance will be in effect. So that drain at Kessel will be only a drain of 2. Still a drain of 2, though. Okay, Ryan will end his turn and pay the maintenance costs for Boba Fett. So let's see what Matt wants to do against that pretty stacked invisible hand. Even if Ryan does have an Imp Command in his hand to limit Matt to Destiny, he could still play a All Wings combo, an All Wings and report in, and I forget the other part, but All Wings combo to draw based on the maneuver. And with Wedge Antilles piloting the Pulsar skate, I believe he adds +2 to maneuver, but let me double check. Yeah, Theranet and Wedge are the pilots. And yes, Wedge does add 2 to the maneuver, so that would be 6. But first we're going to see him use Mirax, again, in his activate. CRG finishes activating, so we're not going to see a battle here. Just because he just activated everything. Okay, we move into his control phase. He will drain for 3 at Kessel. It is limited to 2 because of resistance. So Ryan has to take a drain of 2. He will lose I Can't Shake Him from his hand. I Can't Shake Him good against lightsabers. Not good against decks that don't run lightsabers. And he loses an Imp Command from his reserve deck. He could have the recirculation interrupt as well, but I think even though he has a lot of forfeit, that's 5 Destiny. He doesn't have anything. There's nothing that he can really play to limit Ryan. So I think the better thing for him to do is to take the drain of 2 in space. He will be able to retrieve 4 once he clears off all those cards off the Kessel run. So he'll be able to retrieve a bunch of stuff. Yeah, you do not want to take 5 Destiny to the face. That's losing 3, maybe 4 characters off that ship. I think what the best thing he can play a control tunnel vision. Now he can play the control tunnel vision on Ryan's turn to cancel one of those. I mean, he can do it with his objective and everything. So it would stack a card on a useless gesture, but you're not really losing anything, and that's important. Okay, there comes an Outrider. Um, so that is pretty much, I would say, the complete space fleet for Matt. Um, I understand moving in front at Kessel, mostly because you still want to keep that drain of two going. Um, yeah. Immunity to attrition of the Jedi, starships, and vehicles. I mean, they're all immune less than that. I mean, the Outriders at 4, this one's at 5, this one's at 5. So, I mean, the immunity is not really going to come into play. It's the forfeit values. So, much like our last game where we saw that Paul Myers plays the Devastator in his IE, it didn't have any immunity. And even though Fernando is playing Legend, which caps the immunity, yeah, but we know that Matt is playing Rebellion Hope, Luke. It was on the Destiny for the Quaxium Destiny. So, like I said, it's not really going to come into play this game. But yes, that is a good catch. It does limit the immunity of the starships. And that would work 100% with The Last Jedi. Or Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. Okay, so we do move into Ryan's turn. Ryan, he's going to do a lot of damage this turn. He's going to cause a drain of 2, 2, 1, and a ping damage. There, he pulls the imp command. Matt decides not to lose 2 to cancel that. So it doesn't look like, I mean, unless Ryan had an imp command, but he wants to pull one just to show he has it. That was a good bluff by him. Matt will put a card back with Mirax. I expect to see Matt cancel one of those 2 drain of 2s with the control tunnel vision that is in his lost pile. But first we'll start at the drain at the Invisible Hands, going left to right probably. Drain of 1. Let's see what Matt loses. There's a wild card. Oh, so he does play the wild card. Interesting. A ship that got into more popularity once with this new Watch Your Step. It did receive an errata a couple months ago. I want to say right before the Endor Grand Prix to make it a little bit more usable. So are seeing it in this Watch Your Step, seeing it in a few other decks as well. Ryan will drain it 2 at the Cantina. Matt will use Controlled Tunnel Vision. Oh, he uses one from hand to cancel that one, and now he can play one from his lost pile to cancel the second one. So, essentially, Matt's only losing 3 cards this game, or this turn. Now, he is stacking a card on a useless gesture, so anytime he wants to play another card from his lost pile with the objective, it's going to cost him force. But canceling a drain there is still fairly good, especially because he's going to be able to retrieve 4 during his move phase. There is another force loss for Matt from the objective. And there goes Luke Skywalker Rebellion's Hope. I really don't see Matt, I don't see Matt challenging Ryan on the ground this game. Mostly because Matt's ground force really can't do a lot, especially against good cards like Darth Maul with Lightsaber. The Duke is really good. He could challenge Grievous, but all Ryan has to do is move a character down. So there's a Jango Fett onto the Invisible Hand. So we might see the R Sing move back down with Grievous. That kind of makes sense just to reinforce the Grievous, just in case Matt can come down and get rid of the Grievous. Okay, he moves in front of the Outrider and the Falcon. Knowing that Ryan has an Imperial Command in his hand, I don't like Matt initiating a battle here. I know you can reduce the Invisible Hand's power by currently 6. Okay, yeah. Arsing moves down with Grievous, so yeah, that's a little bit more reinforcement there. Currently on the Invisible Hand is Boba Fett Bounty Hunter, Admiral Trench, Forlom with Concussion Rifle, Newt Gunray, and Jango Fett. Yeah, I've been having some issues with my Discord. So I'm using Discord just in case I get another person who wants to come on and stream with me, and it's making it's canceling my camera here and there. I've been meaning to fix it. I didn't want to fix it right before Worlds, so I'll probably fix it after this today. Okay, so now we see Matt. He is going to retrieve. There was one card left on Kessel Run. So Han Solo will allow the card to be taken. He's going to pay 4 to retrieve 4, and Ryan has the imbalance in Kit and Strider card. So now he's got to lose some. He's got to lose one card. Interesting that he made him lose one there. If he would have saved it, he would have had to lose a little bit more. Okay, so he loses He's the Best Smuggler Around, which he'll then retrieve. He retrieves the Control Tunnel Vision. He also retrieved the Luke Skywalker Rebellion's Hope, and he retrieved the Wild Card. Yes, you did. Yeah, Ryan asking if he played it in the wrong order. Matt pointing out he did, and Ryan is just like, oh well. And Ryan draws a few cards. So, even though Matt will outpower Ryan in this battle before Destiny, yeah, you gotta wait until they retrieve their last card. You can't do it and then it's unfortunate. I mean, we knew what he was going to do there, but yeah, I think this would be a bad battle for Matt to go into. I will say this though: if he does battle here, Kira would make Ryan lose one. Okay, going back and checking on some of the other games, seeing if any of them are finished. So we know that Brad Kipple is 2-0 today. Drew Litch is undefeated today. Matt Harrison Trainer also 2-0. Jerry Napolitano wins. And Gavin wins as well. So currently right now, Chris Kelly is 0-2 today. Chris, starting off at undefeated, is currently sitting at 6-2. He's still looking really good, but losing again kind of is bad. Steve Baroni loses as well. Steve is currently sitting at 5-3. Brett loses, so he's at 4-4. So he's essentially under. If you're 4-4 at this point, unfortunately, I'm going to say it's looking pretty bad for you. Justin Miyashiro loses as well. Kyle Kruger lost, so yeah, unfortunate there. But I will say this: Steve Baroni, Chris Kelly, and Matt Sokol are still looking pretty good for the top 8. They still have some work to do, though. Out of the 3 of those, Chris Kelly looks the best. So we'll see what happens. Still a lot of games to play, though. I will say that. I like this. Ryan Saracen and Connor Britton are currently in a private match, so getting Connor some reps with his decks apparently. Connor is on the bye though, so that's fair. Okay, we saw start off into Matt's turn. Ryan will use Forlom. Matt will use Mirax in response. Ryan plays any methods necessary to activate a force. Again, he started with any methods necessary with this deck. So he was able to start with Forlom and the security tower in his hand. Again, this is a Ryan Saracen deck. Not your usual start, so interesting. I love seeing these kind of decks from Ryan. He is a unique deck builder. Okay. And we're going to see a drain of 1 at Kessel, or at Corellia from Matt. This kind of makes sense just because he's up on Lost Miles. There's another projective telepathy from Ryan. If Matt wants to continue with this drain of 1, he's going to have to pay 2 more force. So he's essentially going to have to pay 5. He does pay the 2, so it is going to go through. Oh no, he cancels the drain. The projective telepathy goes back into Ryan's deck. Again, I still think that Matt should not battle at Kessel. It is only a drain of 1 there, so you can essentially lose the drain. I want to assume that that is Ryan's only ship. Currently, Matt is getting 3 Destiny there. However, if Ryan does have an Imperial Command in his hand, he has Admiral Trench there, so he can play it to limit Matt. Okay, so Lebo comes down. Lebo's seeing a lot more play now as with the new Kessel run, because as you can see in his game text, if you completed a Kessel run, opponent loses 1 force during each of the control phases. So, I mean, that is some nice ping damage. He does add a little bit more power there, so if he were to battle, it would reduce the power of the invisible hand. Not sure why his power didn't go up, though. Or maybe it did, and I'm missing that. It should have went up by 2. Okay, so there's a wild card. Alaros Madak on it, Tatooine. Yeah, I think if you're Ryan, as long as you occupy for battle plan, he's fine. Because he is draining for 2 up in space. Okay, I've got a good feeling about this to activate 2. This signifies that I really don't think Matt's going to initiate a battle here. Even if he has an all-wings combo in his hand, Ryan's only going to be losing like maybe 2 characters. I'd say the Fett and the Fett. Lebo does not add to power. He doesn't add to power? Even though he's a pilot? Huh. I didn't realize that. Thank you. Maybe I should start drinking. I'd actually be a better commentator. Joking. Okay. Plays. I've got a really good feeling about this to activate, and then he's just gonna run away. I do like the running away here. It makes a little bit more sense. I don't understand putting the Falcon to Corellia, though. And the Outrider's going to run away to Tatooine. I think if you're Ryan, you just move the Invisible Hand over to Tatooine. Try and get him off of Tatooine. I mean, he needs to go down to ground. I know that Matt has so much in space right now. It doesn't make any. That's a good point. So he's essentially doing a drain of 1 and pain damage. That's a good point. Thank you. But as I was saying, Ryan should go down to ground. Even if he's draining for 1 on ground, he's still doing damage. And that's what's going to come down to this game. There's really going to be no battles in this game. It's just going to be a drain race. Matt's going to hopefully get out Kessel Run again. And that's what's going to happen in this game. Yeah, Ryan can't move the invisible hand all the way over to Corellia, so yeah, moving the Falcon over there makes sense. Up there's a it could be worse from Matt to reduce. I do agree with that though. She should have moved the skate because he needs to occupy ground at some point in this game. Him paying for drains is not good. Okay, he is able to reduce that drain of 2 at the Cantina by 2. With it could be worse. He did lose 1 to the drain at the docking bay. There is another drain at Kessel. He loses 1. He loses Antilles Maneuver V. And still haven't seen... I don't think we've seen Ryan pull a card with his objective this turn yet. Or no, he does. He pulls Gick and thus Rebels won't escape us. So he pulls a Gick. And there's a second All Wings combo from Matt's reserve deck. So, I mean, he's lost a few All Wings combos this game. Okay, so there's Asajj Ventress coming down to the 500 Republica. I like her coming down there because if Matt could get to there, it is a drain of 2. So this will stop Matt. I mean, it's kind of like a stopgap right now for Ryan. It is a drain of 1 for him, so he is going to be able to do some damage. He does have 12 cards in hand and 11 force to work with this turn, so maybe we'll see another character coming down. But I think right now the most interesting part of this is that Ryan is playing ASM. Again, we haven't seen a lot of ASM recently in the meta. It's kind of a bad deck against Hitco, so seeing this is really interesting. We don't see any systems, so okay. Go into Ryan's move phase. He's going to move the hand over to Tatooine. Matt's going to play He's the Best Smuggler Around to place a card into the lost pile that is stacked on a useless gesture. So he plays it lost and is able to get the controlled tunnel vision that was stacked on the useless gesture back into his lost pile so he can save it. Yeah, and I mean we know that he's got a maul in his hand, so if Matt comes down with a smuggler, or a couple of smugglers and everything, you would think that he can come down with the maul, probably has a sniper dark strike combo, can clear off a smuggler or 2, and overpower him. I mean that makes 100% sense. Even with the Asajj Ventress, she could hit one of the smugglers, sniper dark strike, clear him off. But yeah, what it's going to come down to is the fact that Matt right now is paying to drain. And that's not what he wants to do. He needs to essentially somehow put something on the ground so that way he can start not paying to drain. Even if he has a second Kessel run to retrieve 4, I mean, one, he's putting a lot of cards on the table. He's got 4 characters on both those ships at Corellia. That's a lot. Plus, he's got Lebo and Dash on the Outrider. He's got Elris on the wild card. So he is going to cause 3 points of damage this turn, though. 1 from Lebo, 1 from the Drain, and 1 from Kira. So he is getting some damage in. But more importantly, Ryan right now is doing 3 points of damage himself, and that's before Matt plays the control tunnel vision that we saw him get back to cancel that drain at the Cantina. currently lost piles and hands again favor Ryan. Ryan currently has before the strain he had 15 in hand, so he had 35 hand in life. He is going to lose 3, so it's going to bring him down to 32. Matt has 22 hand in life. Okay, so we are seeing Ryan lose some cards. He loses a Lana Dobry combo from his hand. He loses Battle Order and First Strike from his hand. So Matt did initiate. First, he has to lose with Kira. Then he loses with the drain. So Kira procs off first, then the drain. Okay, he also loses a Force Lightning from his hand, so he's pretty confident that Dooku's going to stick around for a little bit. Okay, Matt is going to... He is going to start with his Insurrection Aim High. He does have 4 cards left in his reserve deck, so maybe we'll see somebody come down. Okay, there's the Kessel Run. So he knows what he has in his reserve deck, so he can stack those cards onto the Kessel Run to possibly retrieve. Okay, he draws a 5. So right off the bat, better than last time. It's not going to be the 7 cards that he had last time. Checking out on the times right now, Ryan is sitting at 21 minutes. Matt is sitting at 26. There is a 2, that is red 5V for Matt. So that's putting him at 7. Yeah, he's only got 7 right now. 3, that brings him to 10. There's a second Lebo. Yeah, oh yeah, he had 7 cards on there last time. I don't want to say he had like 4 ones. Like his highest Destiny card was Wedge. And there's a 4, so... yeah. So he has enough cards to satisfy for Kessel Run. His total Destiny is 14, so he's got only 4 cards on there now, so once he moves the ship over... he'll take a card. He'll have 3 cards left. I think at this point Ryan knows when to play his imbalance combo, so hopefully he plays it after the 4th card is retrieved, so that way Matt will have to lose 2 instead of the 1 that he had to lose last time. Okay, he's going to move the Falcon over. I like that move. I still think he should move the wild card and the Outrider away. Especially that he has that controlled tunnel vision in his lost pile now. Again, that will save him at least one of the drains. Maybe he draws up into a second one. I don't know. Okay, seeing if there's any other games that have finished. Catwall has won. So Kieran is 2-0 for the day. Dylan is currently sitting at 1-1. Fernando won his game. He is also sitting at 1-1 today. And just... so those are our players sitting at 1-1. Taco Bill Kiefer is 2-0. Fortunately, it looks like Bill is going to be knocked out. So probably going to see Bill drop here soon. And Archmage. Aaron Kingery also is 0-2 today. However, Aaron did start at 5-1, so he still has a good chance. He still has a shot. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 players today are 2-0. Okay, Ryan will activate. He'll use his objective to take a card into his hand. He takes Darth Maul with lightsaber. So it kind of looks like he's been cycling that Darth Maul back. At least that's what is telling me. We go into his control phase. He's going to start his drains. There goes a Luke Skywalker from Matt's force pile. Matt's sitting at 17 cards hand in life right now. Again, he's going to be able to retrieve 4. Before we go into Ryan's next drain, Matt will place Walkling out of play to retrieve that Luke. Pays 1. Retrieves the Luke. Ryan, even if he has the imbalance combo, will save it for the retrieval at Kessel. And can I just get one thing off? Oh, he does play the imbalance combo. Before we see that what Matt loses here, I just want to say one thing. Don't get me wrong, Solo was a decent movie, but I have one big problem with it. The fact that they changed Kessel to a planet. To me, growing up, Kessel has always been a potato. Like, this is the true Kessel. It's a potato. It's not supposed to be a planet. I'm going to get off my high horse now. We see that there is the drain at the Cantina. Matt does cancel it. He drains for 2 at Tatooine. He's going to play another controlled tunnel vision. So Matt had a controlled tunnel vision in his hand, and he plays that controlled tunnel vision from his lost pile to cancel both drains. And I want to say that's all the drain. I think Ryan did not drain. So he drained at the docking bay. He didn't drain at the 500 Republica. He's going to use Forlom. Again, he still has the pain damage with his objective, but again, I don't think, like I said, I don't think he drained at the 500 Republica. It is a drain of 1 there. So we've got 4 games left. Jared Konsker versus Greg Shaw, our game. Paul Myers versus Justin Desai. And Joe Olsen versus Bastion. And he deploys Dr. E onto the invisible hand. So, yeah, he didn't drain at the 500 Republica. And I don't think he did ping damage either. Transluke. Yeah, he didn't do his ping damage either. Interesting. Okay, so he's going to move Arsing over to the Coruscant docking bay. Yeah, I think at this point Ryan is pretty secure in the fact that he's not going to lose anything on the ground. Like I said, Matt's not really threatening Ryan on the ground at all. One moment, please. Okay, let's see. See that Ryan is moving cards around on the invisible hand. He did take a card off the Kessel run. He takes Lebo. I don't know if I agree with the putting the Doctor E combo onto the Invisible Hand. I know it's trying to protect against all of that at Kessel, but again, you're drawing so many destinies there. I don't see Matt battling. Matt's just trying to take cards off the Kessel run. But again, I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. Okay, Ryan's going to draw a few cards. And pass turn. So, there's not going to be any Kira damage. She is currently on the Falcon. The Falcon's over at Kessel. So, if Matt... Right now, Ryan is only going to be losing at least one to the Lebo damage. Matt might decide to drain up at Corellia. If he does, that would be another force loss for Ryan. See what Matt decides to do. Okay, so there is the Lebo damage. He'll lose Count Dooku. So after this round, it looks like Phil and Chris Gogolin are both going to be leaving. Fortunately, though, Justin Miyashiro has decided that being that he's 0-2, looks like he's going to drop and join us for streaming. So we'll have him on. You'll still have me. Yay. But yeah, it looks like Justin will be joining us. Okay. But in our game, Matt just deploys Les Lomi down to the wild card as a pilot. I mean, I understand trying to back up many characters as you can there. You are outpowering Ryan. Ryan's getting 5 Destiny. You know he has an image command in his hand. Why? You can't battle into that. I think the best thing to do is... Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I understand like putting more characters so that way you don't lose cards off the Falcon or the Outrider. Those are the important ones. So you have a lot of forfeit there. So, okay, so he isn't battling. What he is doing is he just reinforced so that way if he loses cards, he's not losing his important characters, and that makes more sense. He is going to take a card off of the Kessel run. He'll then be able to take the second card off with Han Solo. So the Kessel run is complete. He'll now be able to retrieve 4. So he goes from 10 cards in the lost pile down to 6. So that's good. Apparently, Justin played Matt Harrison Trainer, and according to Justin, because Matt forgot the VSIP on Hunt Down, that's why he lost. I want to say it was a Hunt Down versus WAP matchup, and yeah, that's a bad matchup for WAP. So again, Justin Miyashiro will be joining us. No. Chris Kelly is not undefeated at this point. Okay, there's the Pulsar Escape moving over to Tatooine. This makes more sense because it blocks that drain. You know that the invisible hand can't move over to Corellia. So it's stuck at one of those two other systems. Still got 4 games going on right now. And I will say this. As my prediction, our world champ is going to come from one of these 4 games. I think it comes down to Joe Olsen versus Bastion, Paul Myers and Justin Desai, Jared Costner and Greg Shaw. I mean, there's other really good players, but out of these games, in this game, I think it's going to be one of these players. I'm not going to say who my prediction is, but I think we're going to have a second 3-time world champ. And I just jinxed him. I know I did. But right. I will say this. My fantasy team is Justin Desai, Matt Harrison Trainer, and Connor. So I feel good with my fantasy team, especially because Connor got the bye. But yeah, we'll see what happens. There's still 2 more games after this round. Okay, we see that Ryan activates. He takes a card with his objective. Takes the projective telepathy, and that projective telepathy is going to see a lot of work, and I like it. Okay, now we start on to Ryan's drains. He starts for the drain at the docking bay. Let's see if he remembers all of his drains. Matt will lose Kira from his reserve deck. Drain at the other docking bay, or the private platform. Drain a 1 there. Matt will lose, moving to attack position. Pretty good card. I mean, he will be able to play a card from his lost pile this turn. So if he was to play the moving into attack position like on the Falcon or the Wild Card, pretty good. There goes a Control Tunnel Vision from Matt's reserve deck. Oof. Not a good card to lose. Not the worst card, but not a good card. Would be better off serving as a drain for here. Oh, it's a hit for Matt, so that drain of 2 is canceled. I'm going to say this, that drain, I don't think Ryan has been able to drain for 2 at that cantina the entire game. And being that there are cards on both of Ryan's grabbers, he can't grab it. So I think it was Chris Hall, King of Jokers, who pointed out grabbing the Rescue in the Clouds might not be the best strategy here. He did lose a ping damage. He's the best smuggler around from his reserve deck. And there's a Darth Maul onto that invisible hand. Darth Maul better being used on the ground. There's a battle order. Ooh. Is he playing 2 battle orders? Because I don't think he got that one back. He's got to be playing 2 battle orders. Yeah, Matt's asking in the chat if there's 2 battle orders. Yeah, he noticed that he lost one earlier. So we have a battle. There's 3 cards in the force pile. Ryan does confirm that he has 2 battle order first strike combos. That's awesome. I love it. There's the command. He'll prevent Matt from drawing the 3 Destiny that he has there. He can still get 2 with an All Wings combo. There is a card on the Useless Gesture, so this would take a lot. This would take some force for Matt to play an All Wings combo. He does grab the Imperial Command. So it would take 2 cards to play an All Wings combo from the Lost Pile. Okay, Dash will reduce the power of the Invisible Hand. But again, Ryan's getting 4 Destiny. This is before he uses Lot Dot. You're right. So he can't play the All Wings combo. Admiral Trench goes into the use pile, so the Invisible Hand is now immune to attrition. And I don't think Nuke Gunray can be used now. Yeah, it's a May, so he can't use Nuke, so he is still getting 4 Destiny, though. Oh, that's a good one. He draws a 7. This is going to clear some characters. Three. Not the best, but still, he's up to 10. A second 7. Wow. So 17 right there. Still has 1 Destiny left. Yes, yeah, talent card is there. I want to say... No. He's over on the Pulsar Skate. Oh. Still on Ryan's. Ryan's at 10 minutes left, so he kind of needed a battle. Okay, so one of our other games finished right now. Looks like it is. It was the Justin Desai game. And Sack left the room. Oh no. Looks like Justin Desai lost. This is not good, everyone. And it's on his his action. Okay, he's back. Yeah, this is like the most unfortunate time for Ryan. Ryan's got that California internet, so it's doo doo. He lives again. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh God, you did. I feel so bad for Ryan at this point because of this. He is back. Let's see if he is back for good. Hopefully. Come on, Ryan, get your last destiny over. Oh God, I feel so bad for him. I don't know if this is a gem issue or if he's got internet issues or what, but this is the worst. This is literally the worst moment for this to happen for him. And he left again. Yeah. Yeah, it's just Ryan. I don't know. Like I said, I think he's just got internet issues. I really like. I really hope it solves. Okay, so he is able to get that last destiny in, even though he's not in the room right now. That last destiny does just take over. I don't get why that happened. It's 22 destiny. That's not enough to clear Matt from space, but it's going to do a lot. I mean, that's still pretty significant. Okay, there's a 5 for Matt. Again, the invisible hand is immune, so Ryan wouldn't lose any characters from this battle. Yeah, it is +9 because of the card, or it is +4. Okay, Ryan does have to lose one card. Unfortunately, he's not in the room to lose it. Or no, he is. Okay, so he loses a force field from hand. So it's not showing that he's here, but it is. He is here. So okay, Matt has to lose some cards from the. He has to lose 22 in attrition here. Okay, he loses the LRS Madak. He's got the cards to lose. That's the good thing. He could lose the Les Lomi. He could lose one of the other aliens there. I'm not gonna. I can't. I'm not gonna click on any because it seems like there's a little bit of issues. So clicking on cards might make it worse. Okay, it loses Captain Lando. Yeah, you can lose the Les Lomi, and you could probably lose the Melos as well. Yeah, that's 4 characters that Matt had to lose in this battle. I mean, and all that Ryan lost was the one card from hand and the Admiral Trench. Yep, there goes the Les Lomi, and like I said, I want to say Melos is the other one. Han adds the destiny because you completed the Kessel run. You're getting another destiny from your objective, and you're already getting one for your ability, so there's really no point to keeping the rest of them. Dash is important because it reduces the power. Lebo's important because he's ping damage. So, yeah, he lost the right cards. Okay, action is on Ryan's draw step. I mean, Ryan could still end up winning this game, even though his time is just so low. I So we'll see. It is unfortunate that he had to lose like I want to say that was what, like 3 or 4 minutes just because of issues. So we will see. Okay, we are on Matt's activate step. He only saves one. He's going to Mirax. Yeah, unfortunately, right now, like I said, the time difference is 14 minutes. But again, most of that was just because of Ryan had some issues. I don't know if it was internet, if he's on Wi-Fi or plugged in or whatever, but maybe we'll find out after this game. While we're in mass control phase. There goes a card to Lebo. Still got 3 games going, or still got 2 other games going on. Jared Konsker versus Greg Shaw, and Jellison versus Bastion. Okay, Val coming down against the Grievous. Interesting. He could have the Recirculate card here. I think if he does, we might see another battle. Yep, there's Rio. I like them coming down against Grievous just because he has his immunity is only 4. So if they get the 2 Destiny here, they could get rid of the Grievous. I think they would get rid of Grievous anyways. That would reduce the ping damage. That would actually cause 2 less force for Matt. Looks like we're still in Matt's... Oh, we're in Matt's move phase. Interesting. Okay, he's going to ship Doc. I think he's fine. Yeah, so he's putting Kira back onto the Falcon. So I think he's given up on the fact that he can lose the wild card here. Okay, and the Falcon will move over to Guerrilla. So this will allow Matt to drain. It will also allow him to cause ping damage. And he just vacates Kessel. I'm not sure what you're asking there, Bill. Okay, and he does land. He's got a bunch of smugglers down at that docking bay. He's only got 2 fours left, so he could block that drain at the cantina. But I think what's going to happen here is he could probably search for the it's a hit. Okay, moving on to Ryan's turn. Here we go with the 4 strains. I'm not surprised that Matt didn't move into the cantina. He just doesn't want to risk losing anybody. We don't see the Hojiks in this game, so... Okay, it loses 1 to the drain at the platform. Loses an out of commission. He loses then to a drain at 500 Republica. There goes a Chewy. And there's the 4 loss from the objective. There goes a few maneuvers from the reserve deck. And a drain of Kessel. So Matt only has 2 cards in hand. I think you still drain at the cantina. Yeah, you drain at the cantina. Okay, there's an It's a Hit. So he did have the It's a Hit. Pardon me for 1 second. Okay, Admiral Trench coming back onto the invisible hand. So he was able to get the Trench back. Or he had another one as well. I think you move over in front of the Outrider and just pass turn. At this point, if you're Matt or if you're Ryan, you really don't care that you're going to be taking a drain of 2 at Kessel. You want to do more damage. Oh, he moves Dooku over in front of all those smugglers. Interesting. And he's going to Force Lightning. He's going to attempt to Force Lightning Murex. I think the reason he's doing this is that way this will stop Matt from getting that It's a Hit back each turn. He draws a 5. That's going to zap that Murex. So he had 2 Force Lightnings this game. Action is still on Ryan's turn. Yeah, Ryan... It's so unfortunate at this point. He played so well, and he played that he should win this game. I don't know if it was Gemp or his issue, but it's so unfortunate if he loses this game because of the time. He's at 57 seconds, 54. Yeah, I think you come down with Maul from the Invisible Hand. Yep, there it is. And you just pass turn. Just pass your turn, man. Pass turn. Don't draw. Don't do anything. Just pass your turn. Ryan, you can't play anymore. There, you pass your turn. Okay, we move on to Matt's turn. Let's see what Matt can do. I mean, he's got a lot to work with still. He is going to drain for 1 at Corellia, so he's going to cause Ryan to lose 3. He loses projective telepathy. He loses a Maul with lightsaber from his hand to the Kira ping. And he loses another Maul with lightsaber. Interesting. Yeah. Looks like Matt's going to win this just based on time. Good job, Matt. Yeah, there's really nothing that can happen. I feel bad for Ryan. I really do. Okay, so that's it for this one. We still, like I said, we still have one other game currently going on. So I'll be just take a little bit of a break. Wait for Chris Schoenthal. To get back to us on the pairings. So we'll have pairings for game 3 coming up soon. As soon as we do, we'll be back for more coverage of Worlds 2020.